Hi, everybody. Welcome to Women in Bitcoin. This is Tracy Lewin, and
Nathaniel Smith.
how are you doing, Merv?
I'm great, Tracy. So nice to chat to you in Dubai.
Yeah, it's actually, can you believe it? It is raining. I mean, honestly, I didn't think I was going to come to the desert, and it actually is raining. So it's a very new
Yeah,
experience. I was
yeah,
watching
it's
the
not something you would imagine.
I was watching the gardeners run for cover just now, and it was actually quite funny because normally they are dying of the heat.
Yeah,
Anyway, enough about the rain in Dubai. Let's
yes.
talk about women in Bitcoin.
It's
This is
such
something
an
very,
exciting
yeah,
thing.
it is so exciting. And I mean, this is just something new that we've started because we really believe that there's an opportunity for women in Bitcoin. And obviously, with us, uh, you know, we are, and I have to say, you and I are definitely birds of a feather. And
You sure are.
we have to stick together, that's for sure. So Merv, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and where you are and what you're doing and that type of thing?
Absolutely. Thanks, Tracy. I reside in Reims, South Africa. I have a financial background in systems, procedures, just normal accounting. But I've never loved it. It's never floated my boat. So in the recent past, we've got involved in network marketing, which also didn't really float my boat. But we're sitting in a situation now where we have been introduced into Bitcoins. And Bitcoins have so excited me. They've excited my interest, my curiosity, my intellect. It's increased the number and different types of people I can interact with. So that's where I find myself right now in business in Bitcoins.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
you?
Well, I actually come from a corporate background. I did very well in my corporate career and really loved it. But and you know what? At that particular time, and I actually cursed the fact that I was one of the a good earner. So I didn't really think about doing things on the side, which was a ridiculous thing of me to think about. But it just shows you how we you know we all think no, let's our jobs are keeping us too busy. We haven't got time for this. We've got no time for that. But yet, there's always so much time to actually work on your dream and work on your own wealth plan. And I'm absolutely delighted to be involved with Bitcoin. Just a few months ago, really, I was introduced to another cryptocurrency business, and I didn't really understand it. But as I got into it, I actually started to listen to myself explaining the business to other people. And I
Yeah,
just realized that it just excited me so much. Cryptocurrency is the future, in my opinion. It is so exciting.
absolutely.
It is so new. It is like the internet was. It's like um, basically it's like sending an email, but yet you're sending money from whatever location you are to anywhere in the world. And that really, really excites me. And yes, like you, I've been in other network marketing businesses, and I've tried, buying contracts with cloud mining. And I've just decided that I really want to do real business. And basically, that's really what it is at the moment. What I'm doing and what we're
Yeah.
doing together. And really, this is unstoppable. Bitcoin is unstoppable, and we're unstoppable.
We are. And you know what, Tracy, what's so really exciting is, like you said, we're right at the beginning of this sharp curve that's coming. And if we just sort of close our eyes and look at the future, we know that I think your word was a tsunami. And that is what's coming our way. And I think that's also what has sort of prompted us to try this whole woman in Bitcoin. So yes, it's an exciting time that we find ourselves in.
Absolutely. And yeah, I think every single week when we get together, we're going to have a whole lot of new things to talk about. And
Yes,
also, invite other people to come and chat to us on the show and get their perspective. No, that's what we really want to do. We want to build a
Yes.
community. So what actually led us to this is really, women in business have struggled for many years. In terms of corporate business, most definitely. I mean, still the minority for the top jobs. The men take it every single time, and actually, there's many women, or there are some women who want to aspire to be a man, and yet I just think that you can't have a worse aspiration. Who wants to be a man? And not that we and not that we are not being feminist here or anything like that, but we need to celebrate the fact that we are women, and the fact that
Absolutely.
we are community builders. And that's why small business and the whole entrepreneurial side of business is growing so rapidly.
It is. And just an interesting fact that I was given the other day was that 3/4 of new businesses that are opened, they're opened by whom? Men or women? Women.
Well, that's amazing. But
Yeah,
actually, when we were involved in a business in South Africa, you and I were in that business, and 70% of the people in that business were women,
that's true.
and yet it was in a male-dominated it was a
Industry.
male-dominated product, an
Yeah,
industry. So women are very, very strong. Women have to care for the family. Women have to. Women are natural networkers. We all like to talk. We all like to give our opinion, and we all like to say, "Oh, you know what? Have you tried this or have you tried that?" And that's what
yeah,
we do.
yeah. You're right. It's a fair statement to say that the women that have been before us have led us to this time where we are able to actually get out there and start businesses, interact in the sort of trading industry, which
Yes.
is which is fantastic.
Well, now getting back to Bitcoin, Merv, did you actually see this first statement, pale and male?
Unfortunately, it's so true, so true.
Yes, and
Um,
yeah, we definitely have to change this.
yes, definitely.
And also, yeah,
Sorry, and coming from a sort of a computer background, I can understand the young and techie.
yes, and women being a minority in Bitcoin, and I just know that this is definitely going to change. There's many business savvy women out there. There's many people that are. I mean, you just got to look on Facebook. There are so many active women, involved in business, involved in networking, and involved, as we saw the previous slide, in terms of the small business and entrepreneurial side of things. So,
Yeah,
it's actually quite interesting here. The other thing is they say that in terms of the demographics, they say that 60% are actually white, and the next second biggest group are actually Asian. So that's at the moment. And you know what? I think it's because Bitcoin has is primarily around being a computer program. It would have been mainly male that got involved right in the beginning, I would imagine, because it seems to be something that men are have been more geared to. But in
yeah,
terms of being in a Bitcoin business and being a user of Bitcoin, it's actually everybody.
yeah. Well, I think you're absolutely right there, Tracy. Um, Men have an absolute talent to be able to start some of these trends, which we've seen, especially as cryptocurrency is digital. So it's computer being the techie side. And that's why these demographics have started this way. Doesn't mean that that's where they're going to stay. Because I think that as people like yourself, myself, the women are starting to get into the industry and start making a name for themselves. So Although women are a minority right now, I think that the trend is going to start to escalate. We've heard of, once the momentum starts, it is going to pull in a huge amount of women into this industry, which is going to change not just the demographics, but the usage of Bitcoins. And women like to spend. So we're definitely part of the industry that they should be embracing.
Yes, exactly. So if anybody has a business idea and wants to start up, because they're also saying in terms of startup as well,
Yes.
you can also, whatever it is that you're doing, you can actually change to accepting Bitcoin as well. So if you have a small business out there, and you can actually do this. And the interesting thing is, we are hearing all the time about bigger companies that are moving over to Bitcoin and that type of thing. And so it's definitely going to happen. There's also a lot of interest with the banks as well,
Yeah.
embracing the whole blockchain technology. So it's definitely going to happen. Um, and I think sooner rather than later.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely. The adoption of Bitcoin and the reality of Bitcoin, is it real? Is it just a phase? Is it whatever it is? That is also taking hold, as people realizing the future that comes with this, and that it is for real, and that it is more trustworthy than they ever imagined. So the adoption of Bitcoin is really coming to the fore now.
Well, you know what, Merv? The fact of the matter is, Bitcoin is a democracy. So nobody actually owns Bitcoin, and so anybody can actually get involved. And in fact, there was a statement saying that if somebody hasn't, if you are sitting back waiting for someone to invite you to get involved with Bitcoin, you know, don't do that. Get in, get stuck in, and get doing. You don't need anybody's permission to get involved.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we need to encourage as many people as we can to get
Yeah.
involved in Bitcoin. The other thing is, as Bitcoin is, there's only 21 million of these coins that are ever going to be available. So, the trend is that the price is going up and that type of thing. So, I tell you what, the more Bitcoins you save now, ladies, the more you can spend later on.
Well, yes. And you know what? We don't have to rely on somebody else doing this. And one of the nice things I was thinking about today is that you don't have to buy a full Bitcoin. You can buy bits of a Bitcoin. So we can genuinely save a fair chunk of money just by little bits here and there. And before you know it, well, maybe people don't know it, but the price is going to skyrocket. We're going
Yes,
to find our wealth.
yes. Well, you know what? I have to say that I've in one of the businesses we're involved in. I mean, we've got different products, and
Yeah,
I just know that on the lowest one, there's an opportunity to save as little as $100. So,
exactly.
and you know what? If you actually as soon as you've got $100, buy and save for your future. I mean, that's incredible to me. This is amazing opportunity, and also let's get the money out of your wallet and into saving and into
Yes,
into growing. So
yes,
very exciting opportunities for us all in Bitcoin, and
yeah.
we definitely are welcoming as many people and let's say women, but as many people as we possibly can into this. Talking about age, look at this move. I think you and I
Mm.
are heading for the minority here.
We've got to change this demographic,
Yeah,
Tracy. We have to change it.
but actually in more ways than one. So not only women, but also in
Yes.
terms of age. I mean, I think it's safe to say that I'm not between the ages of 25 and 34.
Yes, exactly.
um, so it's actually quite interesting. And remember, this is just a snapshot, okay? This is
Yeah.
just a survey that was done on 3,500 people. So this is just a snapshot, but these things tend to be pretty accurate if you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
So definitely the young people are at this now. So, before you know it, they'll start teaching Bitcoin in schools.
Yes. I think actually, talking about that, I think that there is one university, I can't remember which it is anymore, they actually do have a course in university
It's
on
actually
Bitcoin.
Princeton
Is it?
University.
There we go, Princeton. Yeah, they actually have a course. So if it's already in the varsities, it definitely will filter down into normal school.
Yes, and obviously, Bitcoin is also going to create a lot of jobs. So,
Yep.
that's definitely open to any sex. And if you have the inclination to do this, then you can do it. There's no reason why you can't. I'm just
Yeah.
having a look here. There's between the ages of 0 to 18. There's a on this group there was a 3.76 percentage over here. You know
Mm.
what? I'm just thinking. I've just my third grandchild, a little boy, is only 3 days old today, and I have two older ones as well. But I'm actually thinking this is not a bad idea to start buying, um, some Bitcoin for them, and
Exactly.
actually put them for their birthdays instead of buying them $100 worth of presents. Why not buy $100 worth of Bitcoin?
Well, Tracy, I've been doing that now for the last 6 months. Okay. So I've decided never again am I going to waste my money on maybe a gift that somebody doesn't want. You know how it is. You go into the shop and you're thinking of a birthday present. You think, oh, what should I get? What should I get? And then you buy something, and they're all very happy and smile and say thank you because it's the what behind the gift. But the gift is meaningless. It fades. But if you're right, if you took a Bitcoin or a bit of a Bitcoin, that is going. There's a future value that far outweighs what you buy it for today. So you're
Yes.
right. I think that you definitely on the right path there. And I think I need to open up a couple of wallets, and I've got 3 grandkids, and put some into there for them as well.
I think so, Merv. You know what? I
Yeah,
think it's a brilliant idea. So that at least our children are going to have got an opportunity here. I mean, you just think about these people who a couple of years ago bought a few dollars worth of Bitcoin. Now all of a sudden they are multi-millionaires, dollar millionaires, and that's exactly what's going to happen to Bitcoin. So if
yeah,
we're smart, instead of putting and saving your money in the bank with a fiat currency, you need to get into Bitcoin. And I just really
absolutely.
like this idea of, um, uh, this 0 to 18, but then also talking about the older person, because there are many, many people who are in retirement or going into retirement, and they actually don't have enough money to retire. Um,
Well,
uh, and if you had to actually take your money and put it into Bitcoin, the chances are really good that you're going to certainly have a lot more return. I would suggest that you obviously must make sure that you manage your risk. You don't want to be putting everything into one pot. Um, you need to make sure whatever you are selecting is going to be something secure and something, not everything is risk free, but I mean
yeah,
with minimal risk. That's what you actually need. And
yeah.
so those are the kind of solutions that you need to find. But retirement, certainly it's a good idea. In fact, I'm cursing now because I've got a lump sum in a retirement fund and I preservation fund, and I can't get it out
Oh,
because I'm
yeah.
and the thing is, it's also regulated by government, so you can't get it out. And I know that when the last time I went to see them, they told me that I'm going to have virtually no growth on my money this year, because of all the drama that's happened all over the world, and and China and all that type of stuff. So I wish I could get a whole lump sum of it out and stick it into Bitcoin.
Yeah. Well, exactly. I was going to say the same thing. My one brother has just retired, at 65. And his broker told him, well, you're okay, sort of, but the millions that you have actually decreased. Sorry, the economy sucks. And
Exactly.
that's kind of what you're saying. And so what he thought he was going to have on a monthly basis is reduced. And then you've got deflation, you've got inflation, you've got the exchange rates that are just crazy. You do not stand a snowball's chance if you've got it all set, as you say, in fiat currency, in
Yeah.
a fund that's linked to economy as such. And that's why Bitcoins is great. It's decentralized. As you said, it's democratic. What did you say? It's a democracy.
Democracy.
So it's not sort of ruled by any authority, governmental authority. And that's why it sort of floats above there. And you're not going to have such bad returns as you would stuck in fiat or something like that.
Well, you know what, Merv, this is a very good discussion because, I'm certainly thinking a lot about it. But, maybe this is something that is a typical female discussion as well, because we are talking about the future of our children. You
Exactly.
know, we're talking about our own retirement as well. But I'm really quite excited about this future of our children. And in fact, I'm definitely going to be doing that, getting the separate wallets for my three babies that I have. Because I want to make sure that they've got a great future.
Exactly.
Besides their parents worrying about it, I also want to do it too. I want to leave a legacy.
You know what, Tracy? We all love our names. Okay. So we want to, in the future generations, for them to remember our names. And how can we do that if we haven't made that provision? You know,
Exactly.
we've got to leave an inheritance. And this is a very firm way of doing that.
Um, now about our mission. We've started this talk show because there's so many things that we want to do to help people. I mean,
Yeah,
these words I think are very powerful words. We need to empower people, and once you've empowered them, there's still a lot of encouragement that needs to happen, and ultimately, we want to enrich.
absolutely, Tracy. You know, you and I have both had interaction with people recently where they just needed a word of encouragement or they just needed to know how to do something to get them over the hurdle that they see. And you know, once you deal with those two, you actually enrich the person because they can then move forward and create a future.
Yes. Exactly, and this is what we need to do, and I just feel that by I'm really I'm actually quite excited about this new woman in Bitcoin that we've just created because I just know that there are so many people out there we can help, and also we want to hear about success stories. What's happening
Yes,
out there, who's doing what, and who's doing what in Bitcoin, and that's what we have to do, and that's what I think this program's about. So if you've got any questions, if whoever's watching this, if you have any suggestions to us, pop us a note and let us know what you think and what you'd be interested to hear about, and we can certainly showcase it, on our show.
absolutely.
This was incredibly interesting, pink and purple, and these colors that were chosen for our logo were actually done from the heart. They were not done intentionally, and voila,
Exactly.
what happened?
It was just quite an incredible situation because what we found was and we've discussed this before, Tracy, is that we are quite intuitive in that, like you said, you come from the heart. And when you found this research, it was just fantastic. Take us through. Yeah.
Yeah, so the color purple, in fact, you know what, I always think about, look at this, luxury. And that's probably why Cadbury's used to have that purple wrapping on their chocolate. But,
Yes, I remember that.
and also, purple is the color of kings and queens, and it is a decadent color, actually.
Yeah,
And,
it
and
is.
but it's also about power and ambition. And it represents the meanings of wealth and extravagance and wisdom and devotion and pride and mystery and independence and magic. And I love that saying, the magic is in you. I love it.
Yes.
I absolutely love
Yeah.
it. We can all we've all got our own magic, and you just need to unlock it. And
Yes.
just love pink. You know, pink is nice and playful and sweet and cute, romantic, charming, feminine, and of course tender because we're women. We
Yes.
must celebrate the fact that we're women. And pink is the color of universal love of oneself and of others. Because without loving ourselves, how can we love anyone else? So
Oh, that's true.
yes, and Merv, this was incredible that you found. Purple was adopted by International Women's Day in 1911 as the color for women's equality. I
Isn't
just
that
love.
amazing?
I think this is incredible. These are so many
Yeah.
signs that we're getting that Merv. We are on the right track.
We most definitely are, Tracy. I'm incredibly excited because I think that we've hit on a gap in the market where women are sort of not floundering, but they just don't quite know where to go with Bitcoins. And I think that this is going to be an incredible platform for women, all ages, size, shapes, doesn't matter, that we're going to be able to move forward in a community. I'm incredibly excited, incredibly excited.
And there we are, birds flocking together and just flying high, absolutely flying high. So, Merv,
Yeah,
you know what? I'm so excited to be on this journey with you,
me
um,
too.
and I know that we are going to take women to new heights, and we are going to lock arms, and we're just going to move as one awesome Bitcoin movement, and
Woohoo!
and I'm very excited. So, thank you very much, Merv. Thanks for your time, and
Thanks, Tracy.
we'll be
Until
posting.
next week.
Yeah, until next week. Yeah, let's see what next week brings. Exciting times ahead. So, cheerio, everybody. Catch you on
Bye.
the next one. Cheerio.